It's been a little bit since I've made a video. This is for Maid Marian, who infuses me with majestic Megan. I'm reading, which means might in Icelandic. I'm reading the Lay of Skírnir, or Skírnismál. Skadi said, "Arise now, Skírnir, and ready make thee to summon my son, and find out this from the wise youth whom he doth hate." Skírnir said, "For waspish words I well may look, if I summon thy son to find out this, from the wise youth whom he doth hate." Skírnir said, "Wilt tell me, Frey, foremost among gods, and answer me as I ask, why sittest thou lonely, my lord, all day, with heavy heart in thy hall?" Freyr said, "How tell thee my yearning, O youth, as thou wishest? Why heavy my heart? The Alf's beam shineth all these long days, but lighter groweth not my longing." Skírnir said, "Thy heart's not so heavy, I hold but thou mayest open to another, for in days of yore we young were together, truly thou mightest trust me." Freyr said, "From on high I beheld in the halls of Skírnir a maiden to my mind. Her arms did gleam, their glamour filled all the sea and the air. This maiden is to me more dear than maiden to any man. But Aesir and Alfs all will have it that strangers we stay. In my behalf her hand shalt ask, and home bring her hither. Her father let or allow it, good shall be thy guerdon be." Skírnir said, "Thy steed then lend me, to lift me over weird ring of flickering flame, the sword also that swings itself against the tribe of trolls." Freyr said, "My steed I lend thee, to lift thee over weird ring of flickering flame, the sword also which swings itself, if wise he who wields it." Skírnir said to his steed, "Night it is now we shall fare over moist mountains to the Thyrse's throng. Scatheless we both shall scape their might, or else both be overborne by the Ettins." Skírnir rode into Ettenholm, into Gymir's court. There were savage dogs tied to the gate of the enclosure, about Gyr's bower. Skírnir rode to where a shepherd sat on a mound, and greeted him. "Say thou, shepherd, sitting on a hill, why dost watch always? How win I the welcome of the winsome maid through the grim hounds of Gymir?" The shepherd said, "Whether art thou doomed or dead already, in the stirrup who standest, never shalt thou win the welcome to have the good daughter Gymir." Skírnir said, "Never wit will whine what so betide, who is eager on errand bent. My fate is foretold me to the time of a day, allotted is all my life." Gyr said, "What outcry and uproar within our courts hear I now, handmaid? The earth doth shake, and all my father Gymir's high halls." The handmaid said, "By his steed here stands a stranger youth, unbridles and baits him. He wishes, I ween, welcome to have from the good daughter of Gymir." Gyr said, "Bid to my bower the bold-minded come, to meet me and drink our mead. Though far from us, I fear me is not my brother's banesman. Whether art of the Alfs or of Aesir, come, or art thou a wise vain? Through furious fire why farest alone to behold our halls?" Skírnir said, "Neither Alf am I, nor of Aesir come, nor a wise vain. Through furious fire yet fared I alone to behold your halls. Apples 11 have I, all golden, to thee, Gyrth, I shall give them, to hear from thy lips thou lovest Frey, and deem him dearest to thee." Gyr said, "Thy 11 apples not ever shall I take to do any wight's will, nor shall I ever with your son Frey dwell while our lives do last." Skírnir said, "Draupnir the ring, then thou dowry shall be, which with Balder was burned. 8 rings as dear will drop from it every 9th night." Gyr said, "Draupnir the ring I do not want, though it with Balder was burned. Gold I lack not in Gymir's halls, to deal out daily." Skírnir said, "This mottled blade, dost maiden see it, which here I hold in my hand? Thy haughty head I hew from thy neck, but thou yield thy love to the youth." Gyr said, "Nor gold nor sword will gain it over me, any wight's will to do. If Gymir my father did find thee here, fearless warrior, ye would fight to the death." Skirnir said. This mottled blade dost maiden see it, which here I hold in my hand. Before its edge the Etten falls, and is thy father Fey. With this magic wand bewitch thee I shall, my will, maiden, to do. Where the sons of men will see thee no more, thither shalt thou. On the Eagle Hill shalt ever sit, aloof from the world, lolling toward hell. To thee men shall be more loathsome far than to mankind the slimy snake. An ugly sight when out thou comest, even Skírnir will stare at, and every hind glare at, more widely known than the warder of gods, and shall gape through the gate. Shalt drivel and dote and drag through life, with salt tears shalt sorrow. Shalt sit, as I say, with sadness heavy, feel twofold torment with heavy heart. Imps shall nip thee all the long days, thou art with the Ettins to frost giants' hall, shalt hobble all days, cringe under curse, cringe under care. For play shall weeping thy pastime be, live a loathly life with tears. With three-headed thirst thwarted thou shalt live, or else unwedded be. Lust shall lash thee, weakness waste thee, be like the thistle which is thrust under when the harvest is harbored. To the woods I wended, to the wet forest, a magic wand me to make, and a magic wand I made me. Thou hast angered Odin, the uppermost god. Frey will frown on thee, thy wicked wench. Woe betide thee, thou hast the great god's wrath. Hear ye frost giants, hear ye Ettins, ye sons of Suttung, all ye sibs of the Aesir, how I forbid, how I debar, men's mirth to the maid, men's love to the maid. Skírnir is height, who shall have thee a thurs niffle beneath. There slavering slaves shall serve thee neath tree roots with stalling of stinking goats. No other drink shalt ever get, wench at thy will, wench at thy will. A thirst rune for thee, and 3 more I scratch. Lechery, loathing, and lust. Off I shall scratch them, as on I did scratch them, if of none there be need. Gur said, Hail rather, hero, and hold to thy lips this crystal cup with mead. Though hardly thought I that thence I should fare to be a Van's wife. Skirnir said, My errand I would know altogether, ere hence I ride home, when art minded to meet the strong one and welcome the wise son of Njorth. Gur said, Baria's height, as both we know, for true love a trysting glade, after nights 9 to Njorth's son there with girth grant her love. Then rode Skirnir home. Frey stood without and greeted him and asked what tidings he brought. Say now, Skirnir, ere thou unsaddle the steed and set 1 foot forward, what errand bringest thou from Etten home, of mark for thee or me? Skirnir said, Baria's height, as both we know, for true love a trysting glade, after nights 9 to Njorth's son there with girth grant her love. Frey said, Long as a night, longer are 2, how shall I thole 3? Shorter to me a month oft seemed than part of this night of pining. This is from the Poetic Edda, Lee Hollander's translation. And 9 nights is very common in Norse sagas. 9's a very important number, and also to the Celts. Dr. Carl Jung said, it's all about finding the myth that you're living, the one that speaks to you the most. I remember I had a hard time reading this, even though I love Volushpa now so much, which is the first story. It wasn't the one that got my attention. The one that got me was Volsunga Saga, which is a fantastic tale, and I shall read that as well. But for now, that was the Lay of Skírnir, or Skírnismál. Thank you for listening.